Good evening, Kindred. I am Teranz, and welcome back to more Vampire the Masquerade Shadows of New York. That's the one we're playing. Alright, sorry. Last time we learned about what Julia is doing with the Camarilla. Although apparently it does a little fast forwarding, so we didn't between her embrace and that. And then met some of the major players. And now we are going to rest for the night and continue on to day 4. Or night 4, I guess. I leave Dakota's apartment as soon as the sun goes down. Yesterday was fun, but I always feel a little nervous when I spend too much time with her. She never lets me escape from being the center of attention. It's exhausting. At least, the less time I spend with her, the happier she is to see me again. It's a tricky act to balance, though. I'm grateful for her presence in my life, but never mind. What's on my list of chores tonight? Ah, yes, only one thing. Don't show up for the party at the art hole. Well, this is a rare night when I don't have anything to do. Might as well take a trip around the city and see what's up. Maybe fix myself a little drink while I'm at it. Alright. Let's see. So we got breaking the habit. I need to break out of this mood, go somewhere I never visit, see something I tend to avoid. Think, Julia, what's the least place to go and live a little? Or in life I wasn't especially fond of parks. Now as one of the kindred I can finally see the appeal. Past midnight they become a surprisingly good hunting ground. Let's try breaking the habit. What was I thinking? I mean, even the most hopeless introvert yearns for company every now and then, be it in the company of someone they know or a total stranger reveals revealing themselves to be the soulmate they've always sought. Even for someone as neurotic as me, there's something enthralling in the idea of briefly trading your individualism for a place in the crowd. You can just wander around and stare like a peeping Tom hidden in plain sight. If there's anything missing from the shell of my previous social life, it's that intangible sensation being a part of a living mass. But really, Coney Island of all places? What was I thinking? Surely it's my id finally revealing what's been missing. Oh man, words are hard sometimes. Alright. Surely it's my id finally revealing what I've been missing all along. All my sick soul really wanted was to nibble on a Williams caramel apple while taking an overpriced Wonder Wheel ride. Well, I'm here. Might as well at least try one of those tourist traps. A goofy-looking rubber cyclops hangs over the entrance to the haunted house. Has a somewhat cheap but inviting appearance. I pay for the ticket in hopes of seeing more of this sort of kitsch. I don't stick around until the end and storm out through the emergency exit. Jesus. I died, drank a rat's blood once, lost the ability to use modern technology, and with all that in mind, I still consider this to be the worst experience yet. Not that I expected anything else, but still, I'm not sure what I was hoping for. Amidst the cloud of cigarette smoke, I notice an old woman perched silently by the wall. She looks like one giant wrinkle, but her gaze is lively and pierces right through me. I pull the crumpled package on my back pocket. My last smoke. As I raise the lighter, some pompous dick preoccupied with his visibly bored girlfriend shoves the cigarette out of my hand. Somehow, it's his half-assed apology that pisses me off the most. The urge to drink him dry is strong, but I let it pass. I look at my feet, and I can hear the old crone cackling as my cigarette sinks into the only puddle in the vicinity. Fuck. I turn towards the exit and notice some brawny dude closing in on me. The way he's dressed has the same uncanny aura as Steve Buscemi walking through a high school corridor in a skater outfit. How's it going, fellow kids? Except that Steve Buscemi is 1,000 times cooler than this guy. He gets right up in my face and hands me a cigarette, pulling up a rather annoying smirk. Having a bad night, sweetheart? I will not respond. I look the other way and attempt to walk past him. He completely disregards my reluctance and starts waving his hands erratically like a second-hand mime. That's a shame. But hey, you seem like a girl who likes to have fun. I know these things. I have something here, just for you. Want to check it out? Through this bizarre peacock dance, his colorful wristband pops up from behind his sleeve. Shit, man, how clueless can you be? Is this a hidden camera show? Maybe you're just some newbie being hazed by the rest of your undercover unit? Oh, fake curiosity. He really thinks I'll take the bait. Unbelievable. Okay, smartass, you're on. Well, what do you say? Keep talking. Why won't you follow me? Why won't you follow me to my stash? I've got dope. Wow. Just wow. Let me stop you right there, Tony Montana. Like, less than 10 seconds and you rush straight to the finish line. Also, dope, you poor soul. You're out of your depth. Who put you up to this? I seem to have struck a nerve and he doesn't know how to handle it. Come on, big guy, just give me a reason. Well, fuck you too. Now that's just rude and begs for a reaction. He freezes in place as I gaze into his eyes. Flash your badge and state your name to every person in that crowd. He slowly turns on his heel and waddles away like an intoxicated penguin, yelling and waving his badge around for everyone to see. I'm Officer Brad Hines. I'm Officer Brad Hines. Brad Hines. I'm Brad Hines. Officer. His colleagues, two casually dressed guys sharing similar light blue wristbands, quickly show up to collect him, but he still keeps screaming his name at the befuddled group. Seeing the old crone rolling in the aisles, laughing her heart out at that pig suddenly makes the whole Coney Island trip worthwhile. She applauds me from afar. No one but me seems to notice. Maybe there is something more to this place after all. I casually wave back at the old lady as I take my leave. Guess that's enough human interaction for one night. Once more to Big Beat Burger, into the last food joint I'll ever know. I'll have the usual. Sorry. The first time I used this line, I wasn't sure it would work, but I've gained enough notoriety among the staff that it does. The cashier just smiles, nods, and charges me for one black coffee. I can imagine them instructing the newbies. See that emo weirdo? Here's how it is. She always orders a single cup of coffee, nothing else, and she doesn't even drink it. Probably wouldn't take a single sip even if I was still alive. This stuff is just trash, but at least being a buying customer gives me an excuse to sit here for as long as I want to. I wish I could use one of those self-order kiosks to minimize human contact, but touchscreens don't exactly like me. Not too long ago, I managed to blue screen 10 of them in a row. Ah, well, the good news is it doesn't look like I have anything to do tonight. Bad news is, it's because every kindred who matters is having fun at the art hole right now. It's not like I wanted them to go, I just wanted them to invite me so I could tell them to fuck off. I scanned the entrance to the restaurant through my peripheral vision. Am I naively hoping someone will come and save me from misery? Guess I am. Please, 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 let somebody come and get me out of here. A prince. A princess. A knight in shining armor, a fairy godmother, passing huntsman, Big Bad Wolf, Mila Jovovich, Vin Diesel, Azealia Banks. Hell, I'll take anyone at this point. Alright. Visualizing, tapping into the power of my subconscious, materializing my dreams. Nope, doesn't work. Looks like you're eternally stuck being a nobody in the corner of a shitty restaurant, little sweet little Julia. Unlife's unfair and then you don't even die. I pretend to read a book about psychoanalysis I stole from Dakota for a while. Having found it too mentally taxing, I switched to pretending to read a Stephen King book, which I also stole from Dakota. After the terrifying realization that it was written in the last 15 years and therefore contains no amusing, drugged-out rants about troubled childhood in Maine, I switched back to looking at the entrance. That party must be so stuffy and trashy and boring. At this point, I'm no longer looking for salvation, I'm asking for amusement. But it doesn't come. All I get is boring bozos and normcore clothes. They walk in, take care of their business without doing anything to amuse me, and walk out. A few minutes after I lose all hope, a tall, elegant man marches in with a spring in his step. He looks around, impatient, irritated. Then he notices the person he was looking for and reacts with visible relief. He gallantly approaches my table, looks at me and says, "There you are." Now that's curious, he shouldn't be here. Careful everyone, Big Bad Wolf is here, he will huff and he will puff and he will blow our house in. Why are you stalking me, Wolf? I'll have you know I'm not falling for the grandma disguise ever again. My dumb attempts at self-amusement doesn't faze him at all. He doesn't even roll his eyes, he just stares at me blankly. Grab your stuff and get into my car, now. His tone leaves no room for doubt. Something bad has happened. I want to ask what, but whenever he's in his I will simply ignore all your dumb shit you say mode, I know better than to ask questions. Instead, I silently follow him to the exit. He guides me to his car. Excuse me. I just hope I haven't messed anything up again. I don't think I have, but have I? Kadir's car, as usual, gave me the backseat. He's always uneasy when the passenger seat's taken. Doesn't want anyone to limit his peripheral vision, he says. Normally, I'd catch him observing me in the rear view mirror, but this time, he's watching the streets more tense than usual. Something must have caught him off guard. I've got my seatbelt on and my popcorn ready. What's up? The awkward silence feels like it will last forever. Eventually, he finds the right words and speaks up. 6 weeks ago, the prince told me to parlay with the anarchs in the docks, remember? Yeah, and you made me tag along so I could learn something about politics. As it turns out, As it turned out, politics meant something awfully similar to watching my drunken family shout at each other at a wedding party. Hold on. I just want to check. Okay. There was this man who didn't need to shout to make my blood boil. The meanest one in the room, their leader. White hair, a monocle, musty clothes. With this person... Scrooge McDuck. Yeah, how could I forget? A lot of panache, old-timey bravado when gendered insults flung my way. What was his name? Something British. Made me think of Hollywood... Callahan? Baron Callahan. Douglas Boss Callahan. Right, it's 2020, but the man's opinions and ideas were stuck in the 1920s. Weren't the anarchs supposed to be the progressive option? I never understood why they put up with him. He has his ways of predicting which way the winds will blow. Anytime Camarilla or the SI hit the anarchs, it was the faction opposed to him that were hurt. It was the factions opposed to him that were hurt. Luckiest bastard in the world. Thought you didn't believe in luck? I don't, but it looks like his luck has finally run out tonight. Huh. Wait, don't tell me. So what you're saying is we're headed to his office to kill him? What? Just what? No. Absolutely not. Looks like I missed the mark by a mile. If, and that's a big if, an idea like this wasn't completely opposed to everything Prince Panhard has been doing over the past few years. His tone sounds as if he was addressing a particularly dumb child. The worst part is, I probably deserve it. There wouldn't be any need for that. The man has ceased to exist. Wait, he's dead? Deader than dead? I'm 99% sure the bastard met his final death. How do you know? We've got trustworthy sources in the Anarch inner circles. Looks like all hell is about to break loose. There's an emergency meeting at the art hall. Jesus, and you're bringing me with you? Why? Because you were on the way, because I could, because I should. You might not be an important member of the court, but you're still an asset to the sect. Symbolically, at least. I can justify sneaking you into the party, claiming it's for your own protection. An unexpected alliance between Big Bad Wolf and poor little Red Riding Hood. Wait a minute though, the party is still happening? I called the prince, told her the best course of action is stopping it, and started listing security protocols I prepared for these sorts of situations. Excuse me. She interrupted me halfway through and told me we will discuss the subject face to face. Doesn't sound like she was interested. The party is that important, huh? Politics. Politics is that important. I don't know if he's trying to convince me or himself. And once again, politics sounds an awful lot like a bunch of party-loving assholes shouting at each other. Don't worry, this isn't the kind of, how should I call it, governing issues the likes of you and I tend to deal with. And how would you describe the governing issues we tend to deal with? Shoveling ourselves out of shit. As usual, he seems a little embarrassed for cussing, or for being too honest. Either way, it's cute. No argument here. That's where the conversation ends. We stay silent as the car rides off towards the unknown. I'm not a New York City Baron. The Baron of New York City. if you please. Once more, a memory of an old douchebag who thought he could rule the world crosses my mind. Well, it looks like the world has left him behind. Sayonara, asshole. And here I am, the only place I didn't expect to visit tonight, the art hole. Guessing by the sounds, the inside seems lively. Even if they know it's an emergency, they simply don't care. What are you standing around for? You still need an invitation? No idea. Do I? I think the bouncer will let you in. There's a bouncer? Yes, and he's standing right in front of you. Just start walking, Walt. Here I am, among partying elites. It's as stuffy and as boring as I expected, but hey, at least it's exclusive. The title Panhard came up with for these yearly gatherings is called Celebrations of Power, an invitation to re-examine the relationship between our undead bodies and the space they inhabit. The week-long event is packaged as a sort of performance art piece meant to make the kindred who are involved celebrate their potential instead of despairing at their monstrous nature. We need to counter program the omnipresent images of tragic vampirism with images that remind us we have inherited the earth and are now free to remake it in our image, is the way our prince puts it. To this end, she organizes a series of exhibits, concerts, fireworks parties, business meetings, etc., etc. Of course, the parties and business meetings are the most important. My prince? Kadir, finally. A saint with angelic wings, a holy patron of New York City. Take a good look around. Half the figures are dressed like they're attending a mass ball. The other half are religious figures, either demonic or saintly. I have to admit, I don't fully understand the theme here. I know Panhard bases it on psychomagic, a sort of shamanistic psychotherapy using the power of art. Simply put, it's a holy mass and an unholy mass in equal measures. A set of rituals meant to make the participants wholeheartedly accept they're both the worst and the best this earth has to offer. Put on this mask at the very least. You're standing out. Here. I heard the aesthetic basis for these parties is the black mass in the film Eyes Wide Shut. Some thinking this decision means Panhard is tone deaf, but it's quite the contrary. She knows the anarchs are constantly looking for ways to undermine her through art and rhetoric that point out glaring contradictions in her theoretically benevolent rule. But instead of denying and suppressing aesthetics designed to criticize the elites, she embraces them. Instead of risking a Streisand effect, she effectively defangs the opposition. The resistance has become part of the system, and both the Camarilla and the anarchs get the same message. Don't think of it as a pathology. Think of it as a new normal. I'll collect the key advisors. They've already been told to come here. I don't think there's a need for us to hold the meeting in a particular secluded place. We'll just do it over there. Are you certain? Absolutely. Wait, is that Miss Sowinski I see behind you? I nudged Kadir to take over. I collected her on my way here because of her role as Lasombra representative. Just say political hostage. You people have made it perfectly clear what's going to happen with my parents back in Chicago if I go against you. I realized she might become a target and decided to hide her at the art hole. Putting all my eggs in one basket will make my job easier. I will look for a safe place for her to spend the night. Let her stay with you for now, Al-Samai. Time is of the essence. I didn't notice him sneaking up on us. Nice getup. Are you absolutely sure? But of course, everything we say here is going to become an open secret in a matter of minutes. Prince Panhard has already come up with the appropriate messaging. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot an elderly vampire guiding a young, fashionable human girl towards the base, led like a lamb to the slaughter. Best not to think too deeply about what's going on underneath this place. Before everyone gets here, I'd like to secure the perimeter. Easy now, Al-Samai. All of the appropriate protocols for you are already active. Me and the prince have already pulled some strings as well. The situation is mostly under control. Mostly under control, never let anyone sleep any easier. Al-Samai, I know that as the prince's sword, you're aching for blood. You have to accept that, like most weapons known to men, you're most effective hidden in the sheath. Listen here now. Looks like a fascinating political discussion in the making, but sadly, I'm forced to interrupt. Prince Panhard? All of a sudden, Samira appears between the two men. Her calm and collected voice completely changes the atmosphere. As expected for a self-professed protector of the peace. Samir, I hope you're enjoying yourself. To be quite honest, I feel out of place. She nods and smiles at me, probably to signal she takes solace in not being the only person in the room who feels like a fish out of water. Especially now, seeing as I hear this meeting is meant for those of greater stature than mine. Nonsense. We have a delicate matter to discuss. One that might require your severe judgment down the road. I think you understand why I wish for a child of Hakim to be involved. Of course. What's with that expression on your face, Kadir? He quickly collects himself. Look who's joining us. The High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, Lady Aisling Sturbridge, walks up to our group in an outfit I would have never imagined her in, pretending everything is par for the course. Prince Panhard, the Sheriff, the Harpy, Banhu Hakim, Primogen. Are we still waiting for someone? He's almost here. Shining even more brightly than usual, Aisling. I adore your outfit, Samir. Wish the prince allowed the same amount of effort for me. I, for one, am glad she didn't. I particularly love those horns. Thank you for reminding me. I put them on at the prince's behest, but I believe she's had more than enough fun. No, not yet. Well, this will do for now. But you're not off the hook yet. I paid a costly price to see you like this. Both Kadir and the prince's voices are strained whenever they attempt humor. Their minds are obviously elsewhere, and it's not a happy place. Arturo, on the other hand, seems calm. Well, I think this is a good place to leave it, mostly because it's getting towards the time I usually like to end these videos at, so I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.